name is Dennis Akio. I'm the District Community Development Officer in Nakapiripiti District. Yeah, today we've been engaged on a multi-stakeholder meeting, coordination meeting on ending harmful practices in Nakapiripiti District, supported by Action Aid. And here we're looking at harmful practices such as child marriage, and pregnancy, female genital mutilation, among others that are happening in Nakapiripiti District. Yeah, in this meeting, we had quite a variety of stakeholders that were on board. We had the RDC's office, the LC5's office, we had the COW's office, we have local councils, both at district and sub-county level. Then we have the technical teams in the departments of community-based services, police, and many others, to mention a few. Yeah, what prospered in this meeting, one was on agreeing on the way forward, especially on the previous actions that were generated in the previous meetings. And one of the issue was on a rampant high alcoholism at the district, where we tasked the leaders, especially the local councils, come up with the ordinances and bylaws. Then we also agreed that the RDC's office supports us in terms of the trafficking routes where this illicit alcoholism comes through. We have the roadblocks, and sometimes we question the movement of this road. So we had agreed in this meeting that the RDC's office takes on that mantle to ensure that this vice does not enter the district. That is one of the issues that we arrived at. The other issue was the issue of case management and documentation, where we said if there are cases of child marriage, teenage pregnancies, we intensify the documentation. We ensure that this information is available to us to be shared widely. Then we also agreed that we need to create awareness, intensify awareness in some of these harmful practices, especially through barazas, through different community engagement ways, so that we reach out to the majority of the people. And that is something that we agreed on, among many others. Yeah, that we need to intensify on go to school, back to school campaigns, because if you look at all these issues, it rotates around education. Education is in the Nakapiripiti is key, and in the district, our education level is so low that the majority of people have not gone to school. To almost 80% are illiterate. So that's also the concern that we've raised in this meeting, that we need to move on. Then the other issue is the uncoordinated provision of services, where we agree that we need to have a partner coordination meeting to bring on board all partners to be aware of this, so that we ensure that we move on, manage the vice. Then in relation to that uncoordinated services, we also agreed to have a joint DCC coordinated district judiciary, the judicial actors, to come on board, to have a meeting to resolve some of the issues that are on board. Then the other issue, we also cited out the rampant release of perpetrators, and sometimes the community have been concerned that why is it that whenever there are issues of child marriage, teenage pregnancy, defilements, they expect a perpetrator to be brought to book, but tomorrow you see that the perpetrator has been released. And that brings us now to have the community to be at the watch, to ensure that all these issues are taken care of, because once a perpetrator is on board in the community, sometimes the community tend to be cruel. So we also encourage the police, the RDC's office, the LC5's office, to really help us to ensure that perpetrators who defile, who rape, or who have child marriages are brought to book, so that they are handled. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. In terms of effect of alcoholism to the community, one, we have lost lives. There are high cases of hepatitis B as a result of over drinking of alcohol. And then this alcoholism has also spread diseases such as HIV/AIDS and other sexually transmitted diseases. Then the other effect also is that it has led to child marriages. Somebody goes and sleeps with a young girl, defilement, and ends up marrying a child at early age. And of course, there's also high school dropout because of alcoholism. People have tended to leave school because parents cannot be able to fend for children to go to school.
If we say we tax it, probably we tax when somebody comes with in a hiding manner, but when he's caught, we tax him or her, and the beer also disappears. Maybe if we handle it that way. But to say we tax, everybody will come and say, I want to be one who did with the bringing in of beer. Then go to this other local, distilled variety. We are calling it distilled. Which one, what, all those new drinks that have come now. Somebody will ask us in the council, how are you going to handle it? Now you are telling us, remove this, and you are bringing this. Which is which? So we need your guidance. Probably since this is Hanoka's house, where we can debate everything, so that next time when we bring this to the council, we know how to guide and we know the way to pass. That is my concern, this issue of taxing.
Okay, Chair. The layman's understanding, taxation is like collecting money. But taxation, taxes are used to regulate certain activities. That is why at the times you see government, even when they are budgeting, they can raise a tax on cigarettes so as to discourage more production of cigarettes. That is why I brought to this one. That for us, we are left taxing these people who are selling illicit variety, in the hope that we do not look to be encouraging. But because even when we have done that, it is still coming. But since taxation is a regulatory tool, like for example, a sack of chocolate goes between 25 and 30,000. Now, if the council resolves and says, just because we want to discourage this chocolate from being commercial, we are putting a tax equivalent to the price that they are selling. Whom do you think will buy that chocolate? Get a money when you are and if you want to money a taxi. Yes, it is a regulatory tool. Let us understand it from that angle. It is not collecting money. We are not collecting revenue. But we want to use it to eat on those ones who are doing that business and discourage it completely. You know, your business, it is just like any other business. You know, your business to get together at the same price. No. So, we shall still discuss about it. This is a regulatory tool. It's not about collecting revenue, but we want to use it as. But that matter can be taken to the security committee.
I'm actually agreeing with this point. The regulatory tool is okay in as far as it regulates. But now, here is a case, I think the alcohol issue has been here in Kalamaja for so long. That could have been tried several times. I think the tool is not working. So if the tool is not working, I think the better idea is just to ban it. Why not ban it? I'm happy, yeah, we have our leaders here, our district leaders here. We saw, that's why I was bringing who banned it completely. How different are they from us? We could just ban it instead of using the tool which is not helping. And then I also wanted to bring in the other one, verification, the fees, the charges. Yes, I think Mercy explained it well. It is under those circumstances that we get those differing charges. I also wanted to bring this suggestion that if, like, government has brought in UPE, also brought in USE, so that education is free. If we could look at Karamoja context and treat Karamoja differently, we would help ourselves. Because the context of Karamoja is different in that we still have few schools, and then we stay, our homes, our manyatas are far apart from each other. So that's why, for me, the issue of boarding would not be abolished in our place, given the context of Karamoja, the prevailing circumstances. We have insecurity still. In some pockets, there is insecurity. And then these children are given to walk long distances. Those who choose to go for, those who go for boarding, day sections, they walk long, and in the course, they are actually exposed to insecurity, exposed to this rape, exposed to defilements, and so many other vices. So my suggestion was, if government could extend this UP and USE to boarding sections only in Karamoja, given the prevailing circumstances. Thank you.
And we will have commitments that will agree on that.
How do you get our people to understand that those illicit drinks are not good for their health, and take their minds and interest away from it? Because what is illegal, you cannot tax. You cannot tax what is illegal. First of all, as soon as you've noticed and known where it is, it's supposed to be impounded and taken to the police, and the court would order for it to be destroyed. So you cannot tax. So if we can be able to have vigilantes to tell us where those things are most of the time, and they can call us as security, we can always respond and impound. That is one way. But the biggest effort should be with our people. Because, we got to a level that we learned that people drink alcohol to get energy. Even when they're working in your farm, you're giving them, they're doing some casual labor, you need to give them alcohol first. Not even tea, not even breakfast, but alcohol. And so you see how people are wasting away in a very, very, very appalling and abominable manners, especially women around the place. So it doesn't matter what kind of alcohol they drink, but we just have to change their mindset so for them to look the other side while we deal with those who import some of these illicit drinks. Thank you.
How better can we, what can be done about the checkpoint? Because if there's almost, from our discussion, if there's lost many, because you can see the charcoal is passing the same checkpoint, the warrant is passing the same checkpoint. What is the focus of the checkpoint there? How do we handle that checkpoint to ensure that maybe we reduce it? So I think that was one of the issues that came up.
Chamon, okay? Where we feel you're comfortable doing, we can sign. DHO, as they are signing, please clap for me because I'm handing over to Howard to call it. You'll be clapping for me because I'm not a as they are signing, you can also get up and stretch. Okay? And I
It is very true that alcohol consumption in Karamoja is very, very high. And when people consume a lot of alcohol, they have very many challenges, health-related challenges, and they affect production. Production in terms of what one can do to earn a living. So the government side, the government has tried so much to see that the alcohol consumption in Nakapiripiti is regulated. The government I'm talking about is here at the district local government, spearheaded by the district security committee, which has agreed that entry of alcohol to Nakapiripiti is illegal. It's very, very illegal. Why is it illegal then? The security committee came with a resolution that the consumption of illicit warrant here in Nakapiripiti is very, very illegal. And so we have done, the district security committee has done so many activities, so many actions. Number one is banning its entry into Karamoja. By doing this, we have erected very many, uh, I may say, the checkpoints where alcohol is checked, and if found, it is banned. Up to now, to date, we as a district security committee have forward about 20 or to 40,000 liters of alcohol that was impounded in along the checkpoints or along the road coming to Karamoja. But that has never stopped alcohol from coming to Karamoja. Why? People are very wise. Individuals are very wise. The business community have always strategies to see that alcohol still comes in the community of Nakapiripiti area. What have they done? Instead of, for us, we target that is maybe vehicles that carry, that transport alcohol. People have started transporting it through motorcycles, and the motorcycle can pass anywhere. It is the reason that's why we continuously have alcohol consumption in Nakapiripiti, and it has remained more higher. So we ask the community leaders now to report any illicit warrant that enters the district through so many other ways, either being transported by border, transported by human beings. That one has become too technical for us to know where it is coming from, but we have known that it is transported through so many other routes, through borders and human beings transportation. So it is therefore now the role of the community to tell us where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jerrycans are kept, so that we embark on impounding it and disposed. So as we are speaking, it still remains the biggest challenge in health-related behavior here in Nakapiripiti district. So we stand with the community, and we stand with all the actors to see that alcohol consumption is reduced or totally banned in Nakapiripiti. That will work very, very well. Having a bylaw that starts from the community themselves, agreeing that consumption of alcohol is bad, will be a plus. Here is a scenario where it is us, the leaders, who look and implement for the community that consumption of alcohol is bad, and we implement on their behalf. We wish that the community themselves agree that the consumption of alcohol is bad. As long as they have not agreed, so they will not come with a bylaw to hate that. But if they accept it, the few accept, the entire community will accept that it is indeed bad, they will end up coming with a bylaw which will clear penalties that anyone's got selling alcohol, A, B, C, D shall be done to them. It will be of help. But however, at a higher level, at the district level, the district through their councils have tried hard to see that they develop an ordinance that can curb transportation and consumption of alcohol, specifically illicit warrant here in Nakapiripiti. To the extent where it has gone is what to be established next. I think the council is discussing it, or it has passed the council last year financial year, and this council is yet to review how and how far it has gone. That is a plus on behalf of the district leadership. They have done it. But our main interest here is the community, where alcohol comes to, and it is the community members who consume. And Alcohol is categorized here in very many other areas. There is alcohol which is generally acceptable. This local warrant, it is taken as food, it's taken as tea. That one we don't have anything to discuss with it. Illicit warrant, that causes infertility, that tortures people mentally and retards people's productivity. It's what we are trying to talk about and what we are banning. That the community should buy the idea of totally banning its presence in the community. So we keep on sensitizing the community. We keep on engaging various actors, partners, etc., to see that the consumption of illicit waraji is totally brought to hand here in Nakapiripiti. The referral pathway of GBV cases, it starts with the community themselves, who are either the perpetrators or the victims. How can the community register a case of either PVC, gender-based violence, or child marriage, and mention but a few? How does the community report up to when justice is handed? The reason as why police is blamed is the jungle pathway, the referral pathway. You may find a community registers a case and they want the police to fulfill everything that I have reported somebody who has assaulted my child. I have I have reported somebody who has maybe defiled my child. For them they end there. And yet there are so many other processes that are supposed to be done to bring a case to a logical conclusion. For example, having reported a case to police, there is a need for medical examination. That this particular survivor is taken to health center to be examined. After that, it is brought back to police where a case is either taken to is taken to RSA and then finally to court. And in court, it is the parents who are supposed to follow to be witnesses of the case. So instances where the community only report and leave it to the police, police has no maybe a follow-up back and follow-up that it was the case was reported from this place, and then they need to connect the connection to the other levels is what brings that allegation that police has let the case go. Why? Because there is no follow-up from the issues of the parents and the community members to see that the case is handled from point A to point Z until it is brought to a logical conclusion. What is our take here? What do we want to tell the community members? We want to synthesize the community members that it is not all about reporting a case to police and leave it there. It is more than that. Bring a case to police, you are guided there where to go next. If it is the health center, please go to the health center. From the health center, if it is to court, please be there on the scheduled days of court so that the people who are concerned are handled according to the laws established in Uganda for that particular offenses they have committed. My name, my name remains Loklo Bune as Assistant Resident District Commissioner Nakapiripiti.
Well, the issue of alcohol here in our district has been talked in different forums, in different years, but things are not coming well. Maybe because there are no people who are actually doing the follow-up. People discuss, they agree, but the issue of implementation becomes a problem because there's no follow-up. But as per today, we have agreed that I think the issue of this local waragi avoided. And we said, since we have ordinance, yes, we have other laws in place concerning the danger of waragi in people's life. For example, we have what we call liver throat. So this is the waragi that affects somebody from the liver to the throat. And so many people have lost because of that. We have also the problem of the kidney. can also affect the kidney. And once somebody is affected with kidney, it's a problem also to replace unless you go to places like China. But here in Uganda, it's a bit difficult. So this is why we are saying it is not good, it is not permissible for people to take a dangerous drink like alcohol. But however, as the debate went on, members said, I think in order to appoint these people in, in drinking alcohol, in also transporting it and selling from the district here or from our different sub-counties, it is better to levy from this alcohol by giving a high taxes to those who transport it in and sell. Probably this could reduce because if you are buying from Mbale side or from Jinja, a jerrycan of 20 liters or 40 liters at 120. Now from here, they tax you at okay, if you are selling, then we give you a tax of 110. Then that means you may not get any profit, and that can discourage. And that is one of the bylaws people are thinking that it should be taken to the district council for discussion. And probably that could be one of the things that can reduce the transportation of alcohol to the district, and that it is a dangerous drink to the community. When coming on the second point was the issue of children, I don't think we have really ordinance, because if the ordinance were in place, people would embark using it. So I suggest that in this term of our office in local council 5, so we need actually to come up with those bylaws in the council so that it can guide us in the transactions of these issues, like this selling or buying of local beer, that is warage. So bylaws have to be in place, and that is how those in authority can have now the strength to say this is what our bylaw is saying.
I am called Emmanuel Korea. I work for ActionAid as a project officer, implementing a project, a 3-year project, which is funded by European Union, with its operation in Namunda and Nakapiripiti. This project aims at ending harmful practices and promoting adolescent girls' rights in Karamoja. So allow me bring our attention to today's engagement, which was a multi-stakeholders meeting, which we have finalized. And this meeting brought together different stakeholders, including the duty bearers, the RDCs, the LC5s, and the different heads of departments, the youth leaders, the political leaders, who were gathered here today mostly to deliberate on other better strategies on how we can end the prevalence of harmful practices and promote adolescent girls' rights in Karamoja. We also formed a platform where the discussion focused on enhancing socio-economic opportunities for young people. That's why when you look at how the discussion was ongoing, it focused on wholesome deliberation of issues that are affecting communities and how the stakeholders agreed to come with some other amicable action points. I am happy that through these discussions, there are a lot of commitments that came out. And these commitments came because there are some issues that we identified together with different stakeholders, and we tasked each and every person, his or her different capacity, to play a critical role. For example, issues that came out of this discussion was one, there is an aspect of low young people skilling, which the youth themselves brought into attention of the
duty bearers. They also brought the issue of persistent and low response of the GBV cases, child protection cases, and harmful practices. And a deliberate move was tasked to the security organs to expedite the process of this response in time. So we have seen issues concerning education where some stakeholders were saying in some schools there is an imbalance cost that is levied onto the parents when they send their children to school. So what we have come up with, one, the district political wing or the district councillors have taken an option of uh, coming up with engagements that are geared towards establishment of some ordinances. For example, this is about alcohol, which they said is rampant. They're saying enough is enough. They're going to sit, come up with some ordinances that are geared towards reducing or total ban of alcohol in the district. And then we have also been having issues, environmental factors. We have been seeing a lot of charcoal leaving the area. And that was one area of great concern that the duty bearers raised. So what they are saying, they are giving the Office of the Security, which was chaired by RDC, is committed that from 1 month from now, there will be no one who will be seen burning charcoal or selling charcoal in big quantity, as we have been seeing trucks carrying it. So we have seen a deliberate positive move from, first of all, security organs chaired by RDC being at the notch of ensuring that first alcoholism is really, the enforcement is there, and then also issues pertaining the environmental conservation. And then regarding the aspect of the response, the law response, and interventions that the police is supposed to provide. This is an issue that they have agreed that they are going to discuss at the district security committee, which is, I think, from 2 weeks from now. They will sit, and RDC is so willing, community base is so willing, and everyone who is tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that case management is upheld in a timely and effective manner, they will be in position to come up with an action points again from there that we are going to double check during the next multi-stakeholders meeting that we intend to have afterwards. So the lot of the liberal community base has also agreed upon and committed to work closely with the commercial office to ensure that skilling opportunities are available to the young persons. Yes, I think that is what has taken place. Yeah, it is true. That's one reason. That's one thing that came out of these discussions. It came clearly that most times the community reports some of these cases of harmful practice. For example, some of them state that there are situations where a child is defiled. The issue is reported to police, but within the police arena, there is another side of the negotiation that the police will say, instead of us proceeding with this process of the legal proceedings, let the negotiation take place. We also have, we are not ruling the fact that even some parents themselves will want to do the negotiation, and they, from the discussion, they most times hope to do the negotiation once the defilement has happened, which we literally call the child marriage. But we have seen it, one, it has a very bad impact in our programming, even outside the community. One, the community will lose trust in the institution that is supposed to provide uh, the legal proceedings. So we expect that at the end of this discussion, or the outcome of the discussion will be that the police will be able to do their work so that we build the trust. And then also on our side, our pride will be to see the perpetrators apprehended and justice prevail. When that kind of situation happens, we feel discouraged. It hinders the processes of case management. At the end, seeing a perpetrator or someone who is believed to have committed something out within a short time or within a period that has not fulfilled the legal obligation, it discourages. Now, what we have agreed today out of that, this matter, the police has been tasked to strengthen their process of documentation, strengthen their process of case management, build the trust, and ensure that they come up with amicable, comprehensive solution during the district security committee meeting. But they were tasked to expedite their role within the legal frameworks and not accept to be swayed away from what they are mandated to do. So it was like an awakening call as well to the police and as well as the parents to be in position to do their work well.